Welcome, cellar dwellers, to the Matthew Street channel. I am your host, Matthew Street, and I really appreciate you being here live from the cavern in my parents' basement. And folks, I am very excited about this video today because I am going to do what could be nearly the impossible for someone like me, and that is to rank one of my favorite musical artists, bands of all time, Cheap Trick. Yes, and I think I may have years ago when I first joined YouTube made an attempt to do this, to rank the Cheap Trick albums. But I don't even know if that video is still up. It could be way in the past. But regardless, folks, a lot has changed since then. I've listened to a lot more Cheap Trick. They've had new releases. And so, folks, I want to do this. I want to get all 20 studio albums ranked. And I say 20 because I'm not going to be doing any live albums, no Budokan, no Sgt. Pepper Live, no EPs like Found All the Parts, or any of the recent releases like the archive sets and all that stuff. Not doing any of that, just a straight 20 studio albums, and I hope you'll enjoy this. And no, I'm not wearing my traditional Matt Street shades today because I need to see what I'm doing a little bit because I want to read some stuff to you. And so I am putting on the old man glasses for you today. I hope you won't mind. Okay, so let's get into this ranking, folks. We have 20 studio albums here, and I'm hoping people enjoy this. I know there might be some disappointment if I don't rank your favorites as high as you would like, or you might be happy that I'm ranking some of yours higher. It doesn't matter. I don't hate or dislike any of these 20 albums. Let me say that right off the top. It's basically going from my least favorite to my favorite, and I hope you'll understand that I do listen to all these albums from time to time. Yes, many of them more than a few others at the bottom, but I do enjoy these albums, okay? But I will be critical and tell you why an album is ranked lower or why it's ranked higher. So let's go with number 20. Now, this is an album that I do like several of the songs on this album, and I do put it on from time to time, but it's just the one that, out of all 20 studio Cheap Trick albums, has resonated with me the least. And I've tried. Believe me, folks, I've tried with this one. And that's from 2003, Special One. I don't know what it is, folks. I've tried. I do enjoy many of the songs on here, like Scent of a Woman. I like My Obsession. You know, beyond, I'll just say that I've tried, okay? Hasn't resonated with me. Number 20. Okay, number 19 is an album that has grown on me over the years. A few years ago, this would have been dead last all the time, and that's The Doctor from 1986. Now, I'll say for this one, folks, it has grown on me. I don't like the production. I still don't like the sound on it. I think if it had been mixed and produced differently, it'd probably be much higher on the list. Because I do like a lot of the songs on it. You can, get the melodies and get the hooks through all that 80s production and mix. I like It's Up to You. I like Are You Lonely Tonight? Take Me to the Top. It's Only Love. I mean, I could go on. There's several songs on here I really enjoy, and I think if they had been recorded or mixed differently, this album would be higher. But it's a product of its time, 1986, and again, don't hate it, but it just fell to number 19. All right, number 18 is an album I truly, truly love and enjoy. There's nothing bad to say about this album. You might be saying, well, Matt, then how can it be number 18? Well, I put it at 18 because it's a holiday-themed album. It's Christmas, Christmas from 2017, a fine album, a great album, a wonderful addition to their catalog, celebrating the holiday season and Christmas, and it's fantastic. The covers are great. The originals are great. This is a great album, but because it's a holiday-themed album, I put it at number 18. But to give it a little bit of a high five, as it were, I put it above The Doctor and Special One. But this is a great album, folks. Check it out. All right, number 17 is another one like Special One where I do like several of the songs on it, but it just hasn't quite resonated with me like the other albums have. So I put Bang Zoom Crazy Hello at number 17. This came out in 2016, and it's an okay album. I do it occasionally, take it in the car with me. I listen to it down here in the music room. I skip a few songs that I think are kind of clunkers, but overall I like it. So I gave it a number 17 ranking. Okay album. Number 16 is Standing on the Edge. Now, I really like this album. This album rocks. There's a lot of great stuff on here. I like Little Sister. I like Tonight It's You. I like How About You. I like This Time Around. I like Cover Girl. I mean, Wild Wild Women rocks, the final song. I mean, it's not a bad little album. Okay? It's not bad. I get into it. So I think that's pretty good, number 16. Number 15, again, like Standing on the Edge, is the latest. It's a good album. I like it. I enjoy it. I listen to it from 2009. It's the final one with Bunny Carlos. And what can I say about it? There's some great stuff on here. When the Lights Are Out, I like Miss Tomorrow. I like Sick Man of Europe. I like These Days. California Girl's pretty good. Times of Our Lives. I mean, there's good stuff on it, but there's just other albums that resonate a little more with me. So I gave the latest number 15. All right, number 14 is one that might disappoint some people because I'm putting it kind of low, but I do enjoy and love this album. There's just, a couple of tracks on it that don't strike me, and it's the Cheap Trick album from 97. Let me just say it. It's number 14. I know a lot of people have this up in their top 3 or 4 albums of Cheap Tricks and love it. I don't dislike this album, folks. It's just one of those albums that, there's a lot of great stuff, but then there's a few things on here that just don't resonate with me. And overall, as an album, I had to put it at number 14. Okay, number 13 is an album that I really want to put higher. It's Next Position Please from 1983. Now, a great album. When you look at the original album and the way it was produced by Todd Rundgren and some of the tracks they threw on here that maybe the record company made them put on here, the original release, I got to put it at where it is, number 13. If you took off a couple of these songs and put on some of the ones that are on the deluxe edition of this album, then it might be a better album. But, songs like, Dancing the Night Away, and won't get into it too heavily here. This isn't a review or anything, but Standing on the Edge is one of those albums that could be much higher if there was some different song selections on it. But as it is, I had to put it at number 13. Number 12 is another one I really, truly enjoy. Their comeback album, the one where Tom Peterson returned. It's Lap of Luxury from 1988. It falls in at number 12. This is a fine album. Couple of clunkers on it. Couple of songs I really don't get into. But overall, I truly enjoy the album. So I put it at number 12. Number 11 is the one that came out right after it. The last one on Epic. And that's Busted. Now, you might be saying, oh, Matt, I usually rank that one lower. Because I know some people do rank this lower. I don't know what it is, folks. This album has always struck a nerve with me, and I really have always loved it. I just think it was a fine follow-up to Lap of Luxury. That's why I put them so close together. I kind of feel like they're Volume 1 and Volume 2. Like they kind of go together, in the whole theme, the mood. And I just think this one rocks a little harder than Lap of Luxury. There's some really good rockers on here. Back in Blue, I Can't Understand It. I like the ballad, Wherever Would I Be. Can't Stop Falling Into Love, ballad that became a top 10 single. Busted rocks. I like Walk Away with Chrissie Hynde from The Pretenders, singing with Robin. Rock and Roll Tonight is a great cover by The Move. They do fantastic. Had to Make You Mine, Beatlesque power pop. I love this album. So, Busted is at number 11 from 1990. Number 10, we're in the final top 10. Woke Up With a Monster, number 10 from 1994. I love this album. This album is like hard rockin' Cheap Trick. There's a couple of songs on it I could take or leave, but overall, I like this album. I saw this tour. I saw many of these tours, but anyway, I love this album overall. Woke Up With a Monster makes number 10 for me. Number 9. This one definitely had to be in my top 10. This is a cool album. From 1982, One on One. Number 9. It had to be there, folks. This is a great, great album. You got such great material on here. It rocks hard. I Want You, One on One, If You Want My Love, power ballad, great. Looking Out for Number 1. Oh my goodness. She's Tight. Time Is Running. Saturday at Midnight, a little shaky for me. But I Want Be Man, a little shaky for me. Love's Got a Hold on Me, love it. 4-letter word, rocks. Got to do it. Number 9, One on One. Number 8 is a good showing for one of their newest albums. This one really grew on me since it's been released, folks. Number 8 is We're All Right from 2017. I adore this album. This is a great rocking Cheap Trick album. I just think it's a little bit better than Bang Zoom Crazy Hello from where I had Back at 17. This one, though, We're All Right, jumps almost 10 spots from that one because this is just a fine addition to their catalog. It's great. Love it, love it. I mean, I'm getting to that point now. I don't have a lot bad to say about any of Cheap Trick's albums, but boy, I'm not saying anything bad now, folks. They're all good. Number 7, from 1977, it's In Color. Now, many of you might have this a little bit higher. The reason I have it a little lower is I love the songs on here. I mean, there's nothing. This is just a fantastic set of songs on this album. However, just something about the way this album was recorded after that stellar debut, being so well recorded by Jack Douglas and rocking. And this one they almost like they put a little fluff and a little cotton candy on this one, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but I just don't like the mix, the production of this album. If it just been produced a little bit tougher, a little bit of a tougher sound, this thing would be hard to beat. But it's at number 7 because I love the material. I just don't love the way it was recorded. Okay, number 7. Number 6 is one that I some people really put this one down a little, not down, but they always have it lower on their list. But this one really struck me when it came out in 2006, Rockford. I thought this was a return to form for them after, in my opinion, what was kind of a downer on Special One. When they released this one, I was all jazzed. I mean, this has just got some great material on it. Yeah, a couple of clunkers here and there, but overall, it's a good album. I just love Rockford, so I put it at number 6. And it was from 2006, if I didn't say that. Number 5, we're getting into the top 5 now. All Shook Up, 1980. The one produced by George Martin, the final one with Tom Peterson before he came back with Lap of Luxury in 88. And folks, I love this album. Some people, put this album down a little bit, but I think it's fantastic. Maybe there might be one song on it or something I really don't listen to. Who Da King, maybe Who Da King is the only one I really don't get into, but I think overall that they did a great job with George Martin on this one. This got some great rockers, some great ballads. World's Greatest Lover is stellar. This is a fine album. So I put All Shook Up, number 5 from 1980. All right, number 4. Wow, this one broke out of the box last year. Who would have thunk it that they still had some gas like this in the tank? Folks, it's In Another World, their brand new studio album from just last year. 2021 makes my number 4 on the list. Folks, I am in love with this album. I think it's absolutely wonderful. I think it's one of the best studio recordings Cheap Trick has ever put out. I just adore this album. I cannot get enough of it. I listen to it all the time. It's always in my rotation since the day it came out, and it will remain there because I just think it's fantastic. And I just think it's better than We're All Right and Bang Zoom Crazy Hello, which is the trilogy with new drummer Dax Nielsen, Rick's son, who took Bunny's place. And I just think this is the best of the 3 with Dax, for sure. And I just think it's a fine Cheap Trick album. Number 4. Number 3 is one that brings back memories, folks. The Cheap Trick self-titled from 1977. This is the one me and my roommate Chris, who I've told you about many more times in videos, rooming together in the Air Force over in the UK for 2 years. We rocked out to this album Brings back great memories of my teenage years, getting into the band. Love it. So Cheap Trick, number 3 from 1977. Number 2, which one will it be, folks? Well, I had to go with one. It could go back and forth, but I went with Heaven Tonight as my number 2. Perfection. And this was the first Cheap Trick album I really got into. This one I kind of missed the first time around. It wasn't until about 78 when this one came out. And In Color I kind of missed too when it first came out. But it was in 1978. I was 16 years old, 16, going on 17. And I really got into this album, folks, right here. This is absolutely fabulous. One of the greatest things they've ever done. One of the greatest rock albums ever, right here. Heaven Tonight from 1978 made my number 2. Love it. Okay, we're almost there, folks. Sorry. And as you know, my number 1, I've got my promo vinyl of it. I have a sealed version of it. I have a cassette version of it. Folks, I even have an 8-track version of Dream Police. I'm crazy, folks, for this album. I love Dream Police from 1979. My favorite Cheap Trick studio album is Dream Police. Folks, it resonates with me. It came out the year I graduated high school. I was listening to it what did it come out, like September, that late summer. Listen to it that fall. Listen to it then when I went in the United States Air Force. Everybody was listening to this. It's just a stellar album, folks, from top to bottom. You can't beat it, at least in my mind. These could go back and forth like this sometimes, but right now, it's got to be, we got the cassette, we got the CD, we got the 8-track, we got the vinyl. Dream Police, folks. Matt Street's number 1 Cheap Trick album of all time. Perfection. Dream Police, Way of the World, House is Rockin', Gonna Raise Hell, I'll Be With You Tonight, Voices, Writing on the Wall, I Know What I Want, Need Your Love. It's perfect. Cheap Trick is a perfect band. I love them. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this. I wanted to be out before 20 minutes, and I did it. I hope you enjoyed my Cheap Trick ranking, folks. Bless you all. Thanks for being here. And from Matthew Street in my parents' basement, thank you. Bye-bye.